I had this dream that I'd had in 2007, and in that around, I mean, excuse me, 1997, and in that dream, it was a dream from the Lord. It was very long, and it was about 5 in the morning, and I thought, I'll never forget this. I don't have to write this down. So I closed my eyes, went back to sleep, and woke up a couple of hours later. Couldn't remember anything. I prayed and fasted all week long, and finally I put it in the hands of the Lord. Well, then about 10 years later, in 2007, I have the exact same dream. And in the dream, this is a long dream, and step by step, I knew everything in the dream that was going to take place because I'd had it before. And then all of a sudden, while I'm still asleep, I realized, hold it, this is the dream that I had all those years ago that I forgot. And and I knew the dream was getting ready to come to the end because it was the same dream. The only thing that was different in the dream was there were 8 nuclear missiles that were like mountains that were frozen, and I was much, much closer to those 8 nuclear missiles than I was 10 years earlier in the dream. The dream was exact besides that. Well, I realized I'm coming to the end of the dream. And as I came to the end, I just raised up in bed. It's like this was the dream. And I opened my eyes. Of course, I did make the mistake. I wrote it down that time. And so at that time, it was January of 2007, and Nancy Pelosi had become Speaker of the House of Representatives for her first time, because later on, the Democrats were defeated, and she became Speaker of the House again years later. And one of the first things she did was write a bill with, I think, 3 other congressmen that if any radio disc jockeys, radio commentators said anything against homosexual movement or against abortion, they would lose their government licensing. And I mean, there were Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, and Rush Limbaugh. They were all involved in that. It's like, and it was aimed at them, especially at Rush Limbaugh out in California, I guess. And so this bothered me. And in that same bill, it put in stipulations any pastors who preached against abortion or against the homosexual movement, we call it woke now, that they would lose their tax exempt status. And so this really bothered me. And of course, I lived in Ukraine like 26 years. I moved there in 92. And you would have to be away from your family. Maybe if you were in the military. Mark, were you or Stephen ever in the military?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, I
Well,
was not either.
people who are in the military and are overseas for years, they could understand what I'm about to say. But year after year, when you're over there and you see problems in America